Call to order, roll call.
Mr. Hudgens,
Here.
Mr. Hodges,
Here.
Mr. Breinmart,
I'm here, although I'm both here and not here on the left hand.
Ms. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Hubbard, absent, and Mr. Fisher.
Here. Okay. We have the agenda. It was one. Adopt the agenda. Is there any? Something I would think. Oh, yeah, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about that's not on the agenda. You all got notification back a while about the fact that DHR was having one of their education sessions. I think it was in July, as I remember. Okay, and I'd like to put that on there for discussion, okay? Anybody else have any other? The 19th of July, which is a Wednesday. Okay.
Well, I think John has a point. He's on there present and absent on the minute.
Okay, if anybody wanna, with that addition, does anyone approve adoption of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to
Okay,
approve the amended.
okay, we have a second to that. All in favor? Aye, okay, let's move on to the approval of the March 22nd meeting.
22nd and 23rd
It's 22nd.
on the cover sheet. The 23rd.
Yeah, it says 23rd on the cover sheet. Yeah, I guess that's a typo on the agenda. Okay,
Okay.
okay, everybody had a chance to review those?
Yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Well, again, with John's correction, they got him down absent and present.
Oh, he's absent and present, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So I would.
Now, which one were you?
I was.
He was absent.
I'm sometimes both.
You moved, who second? All right, we've got a second. Any further discussion before we move to approve the minutes? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Minutes. are approved. Okay, public comments. I see nobody there, so I guess there's no one to comment. The people that are presenting these applications who are invited to come, but didn't find out whether we didn't find out from them one way or another what they were gonna do. Okay. Update on certified local government status.
So we did, so Aubrey gave us an update, which I sent out to everybody. That the DHR actually signed, we sent in our signed CLG agreement, and DHR signed that. They've now sent everything on to the National Park Service. So now we're just waiting on the review from the National Park Service. So we are in the very final stage at this point. Typically, as Mr. Brown has indicated, once you've gotten sign off from DHR, we should get approval from the National Park Service. So that is our final destination. So fingers crossed that nothing comes back from the National Park Service.
Did she say how long that usually takes at all?
She did not. That was at the very beginning of May, that it should have went to the National Park Service.
Okay. They probably have committees that meet certain times of the year and so on and so forth, so, but it looks pretty optimistic. Good. Okay, we have two applications. I had a little hard time trying to understand them, to tell you the truth. Maybe I printed mine out. It looks like these are better than what come out of my computer. But
I could pull them up, but
request for single family dwelling and a detached garage, and then what's the relocation of proposed What does that mean?
So this was Mr. Bartos that you all had already approved, both his single family and the detached garage. So he's just requesting a modification to move the garage forward, is all that he's requesting. So it's just basically to relocate.
So that, there's nothing to do with a house.
No, he's not requesting any modification on the house. He's not started construction yet.
Okay,
So he's just requesting to relocate what the original location of the garage that you all had approved.
Was
okay.
the house up and on?
No, he's not started
Yeah.
construction on anything yet.
Okay.
So this is his house plans that we have here. Okay.
Right, the same materials, same colors, everything that you all had approved. The only difference is he's the location.
Now, these pictures are his house.
No, that's the
Yeah,
next.
that's the
one.
That's
second.
what I thought, but I didn't. It wasn't a. Did I skip?
It's on the
Oh, yeah,
back of
I skipped by that other page. Okay, now. So he's gonna relocate the existing detached.
No,
garage?
it's not been constructed.
All right, so it's, but as I remember reading it, it's gonna have the same materials as the house, is that right?
Right, it's the same exact materials that you all had approved. Let
Okay,
me see if I can
No.
order that from.
can you show us where,
Everything's been.
which lot we're on here?
He was lot two.
Okay,
So. So this was the original that you all had approved. This was the
that's the
house.
house,
That was the original location of the garage.
okay,
So instead of the garage being here,
he's
he
moving it
wants to move it up. there.
closer to the house. Okay, and
A
did
little forward of the house.
we approve that garage at the same time we did
Yes.
the house?
You
So-
did.
So it's just a matter of whether or not we like the location of the garage, right?
Correct.
Is there any
recollection in the meeting of anyone having any issue with location? No.
I don't really see on here where he's got position on this. Unless I'm
It's-
skipping over.
Very tight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so what is your?
Okay.
You pass? No? Well,
It's just come back to you all because he's
Oh.
requested from the original approval. He's requested a modification.
Yeah, it's difficult to see it.
It is, and that's why I'm pulling it
Yeah,
up here on the
yeah,
big screen.
Yeah, okay,
So it's just that one little square or rectangle on forward.
Correct.
Okay. And see, it's still gonna have the breezeway to it.
That one didn't have a breezeway. That's a completely
Oh,
detached.
that's, I keep thinking of that next one.
yeah, there's a right
okay.
down the road from each other.
Yeah,
And this is what the garage is gonna look like. Which we already approved.
You've already- It's
Yeah,
the same structure.
yeah, okay. Anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve. I don't see
We have a
the big
second.
deal with it.
John, a second, okay, further discussion? Hearing none. The motion is to approve the application for relocation of the detached garage. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Now we're. There, this is just a request for these proposed detached storage building. Now,
Right.
my understanding, we approved their house too, didn't we?
You did.
That's what I remember. Okay,
Several years ago.
Yeah,
yeah.
how much acreage do you have?
They're all about the same, aren't they?
About the same, 2 acres, I think, 2. Do you think? Yes. Yeah. 6. When they do these, it's not a rezoning or anything, so the neighbors are really never notified anything, right?
Actually, because you all had changed some things, there's now a sign that goes out in front of their
Okay.
property.
Did you get any objection?
No. And it's not a public hearing comment, it's just a sign that goes out front and says to call if they have any questions, so. We actually have metal stands, we had a couple in the office, so we made, this is what it says.
But we didn't get any phone calls.
We did not, I did not,
And then
it's
we
got, it has my
notify
direct
the
number,
adjacent property owners.
this is the notification. That goes out to the adjacent property
Oh,
owners.
they got it in addition to being placed there? Did they get it?
No, I think she said just placed there.
This is placed
They
there.
all look at each other.
Okay.
This is actually was placed out in front of it.
I thought what we said we were gonna do was to put a sign
That is the fine.
and to notify the adjacent property owners. I think that's what that memo said, right?
We're not required to notify the adjacent property owner.
Okay, but that's what that,
That's a public hearing that we're required to notify them. We put the sign out.
and we had it on our website, okay? You
That-
don't have a copy of that memo that I sent. That got us into discussing this in the last.
I have a copy of the memo.
What?
We talked, we agreed about the sign. Which the sign went out.
Can you have a copy of that memo that I took?
I don't have it
No,
here
you don't have it.
in the meeting, no.
All right, well,
The problem is when you start sending out letters to the adjacent property owners. You're declaring that it's a public hearing.
I could swear that this was an agreement that when we did away with public hearings for what we were doing here, okay? What we agreed to with the Board of Supervisors was that we would, the policy, the procedure that we said, I thought said we'd notify the adjacent property owners and put up a sign. And we would be on the, we would put it on the website,
So it's on the website.
okay?
They've got the sign, which notifies all the property owners down there.
It's like when I got to put agricultural waste on an acreage property, you put the sign right there. Or you're gonna build a house, you post the permit. So there's-
Well, let me suggest that we, at the next meeting, pull that piece of paper. I didn't bring my book with me. Let's pull that out and see what it says, okay? See, let's just review it at the next meeting. I don't want to basically, we don't have it here, but I think I just want to make sure that it didn't require us to notify them other than putting up a sign, okay?
So there's your memo that says that request that you do that, but the law that says to do that is for public hearing. That's regarding the law. for public hearing.
Getting rid of the public.
Yeah, but we were, as I remember, we were getting rid of the public hearing. And this was the agreed upon procedure to eliminate the public hearing.
But the public can't comment on these applications. If it's not a public hearing,
Yeah,
they can't comment on these applications because it's an administrative process that you all review. just like the open public comment area that you all have. It's not for the public to comment on these applications.
I don't understand that. If I saw that sign. And I saw on the website. That we were having a hearing, because that would tell us when we were doing it, right? For the
It
web-
does not say
No,
the
it's
date.
not a
It's not
hearing.
This is not a hearing.
I mean, a hearing, well, the meeting, the meeting is on the website with the date. What,
Correct.
what,
The whole packet is on the website.
okay, so if I saw that sign. And then I went to the website and found out that we were having a meeting today. And I was a property owner that was next door. They couldn't come here and make any comments.
This is an administrative review by the board. It's not a public comment. It's not a
Well,
public
they
hearing.
couldn't they could come and do a public comment, but
They could do it during the
If we
public
do
comment
finish,
period, wouldn't they?
yeah.
So just like the board, the supervisors. When the public comment period is open, the public.
So they could talk during the public
Yeah,
comment period, but they
absolutely.
couldn't participate. When we were reviewing the application,
No, because it's not a hearing.
they could have not hear it, yeah, okay. All right, I'll go back, let me just go back myself and pull that thing out and see what it said. So forget what I said before, we'll see what it says. I just want to make sure I didn't read how I read that. Because I interpreted, I thought it meant we would send them a notice or something, but, all right, so I'll resolve that in my mind and get back at the next meeting. Okay, now, where is the pollards on the map?
They are
Versus 6.
this one right here.
Okay, and the proposed,
They are 20 by 40 storage building. So he had done his own drawing, so I kind of took his drawing and put it here on the subdivision plat. So on the subdivision plat, he's in front of the RPA and the power lines. So this is the subdivision plat, but then he also has, I'm showing you another one that he drew.
where is the house isn't showing on there, right? Oh,
Yeah, he doesn't have an actual
Oh,
survey.
yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
That's the house right
This
there.
is the one that he did.
Okay, that's this one. Now,
So this is the house.
You see it's
Now-
in the green on the other side, correct?
where is the,
This would be the new structure.
where's the
here,
river, where's the river?
Over here.
That's the river over there, okay. Okay, and where is he moving? What is he doing here?
This is the new structure, new proposed structure here.
There is
I
a
thought it's
cover,
up there at the top.
No,
where's the?
What's that? To the left. Keep going to
that's,
the left.
that's the existing.
No. Go to the left.
Here,
Yeah. What is that?
he's got that in wood shop.
I thought that's where he was building.
No, he's over here with the new one.
I
think he built that wood shop before.
Yeah. I'm just, that's the drain field.
Up here, that's the drain field right here.
Okay, it's nothing up there where that, all that, those lines are on the fire. Where are you at with the arrow?
That's the new structure.
And where is it?
Okay,
That's the new structure, and they have a one two right here.
so he's already got one up there, correct?
He's got the house.
The
I don't
garage.
think he's showing the breezeway, because there's the house, the breezeway, and then the garage.
These pictures are active, right?
They're
Yeah,
very
yeah,
close.
so
He's just
he
not a
had to
licensed
breathe.
surveyor.
Yeah, okay.
But there's another shop up there for it.
He's showing another shop up there.
How far off the neighbor's property line is that new structure?
Which is all we have today. Fifteen feet.
Hmm?
15 feet. That's all.
Is that what it needs to be?
All has to be is 15 feet.
Okay,
Off the line.
Off the line.
so we just made it.
Well, it's showing what one.
And that's
15 here and a little bit more than.
I think
Oh,
that dash,
okay.
that dash line that he's got drawn there, I think is a 15-foot offset. border.
Okay.
Say right here, that's the 15. So here, it's more than 15. And it's gonna match with the same exact materials as the house that we have now.
And these are the pictures of that. These 2 pages are the pictures of that. They're both the same. These are the pictures
Yeah,
of what
that's
he's
the-
putting up, right?
That's what he's got.
Yeah,
The
it's the same.
existing house and attached garage.
So he provided the plans of the detached structure.
This will be going to the
What's the
right.
detached structure gonna look like?
Exactly the same as the house. Same color, same material, to match it perfectly.
Well, what is it gonna, how big is it gonna be? What?
20 by 40,
And here's the drawing. Where's the drawing of it?
right here.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay, so this is it, right? Okay,
How did you find a shed versus a garage? Because it's gonna be a garage.
yeah, it looks like a garage. You've got a garage opening.
You get a,
It says garage door.
in there,
It's an you can call it either.
but it's a wood floor.
Oh, you mean wood floor inside or
On the floor, where's the floor? Is it concrete?
are you talking about inside or?
The storage building, yeah.
I don't know what the inside of the flooring is.
I bet it's a slab.
Yeah, if it's a slab, you're right, they were hanging down. I mean, if he's making a shed that will later be converted into a grandmother's suite or an Airbnb.
Yeah,
Those are the bigger concerns than is there plumbing.
He's not having any plumbing
It's
going
not
in there.
showing.
So it's at least closer to a shed or garage than it is to a multi-purpose building.
He's putting his equipment and stuff in there.
With
We've
that
already
big-
talked about that.
With the big overhead door, yeah, a little bit harder transition.
I mean, it might
But,
make a mother-in-law joke, but.
Does zoning allow that structure to be put there like that?
Yes.
Looks like a garage. He has an existing garage. But this is not being called a garage.
He can call it a garage, he can call it an accessory structure. I mean, he's not limited by percentage. There's no maximum lot coverage.
So if we weren't approving this, and he just went to get a building permit, they'd approve it the way this is located.
I would approve it just like it is.
It is, okay. What's our pleasure?
I don't think you have anything restricting it.
It's hard to go ahead and have criticism of this based on the approvals that we've given the other item. And we didn't really have any other criticisms because they're simply following all of the guidance that we recommend. So on the positive side, most people seem to be following the guidance and seeing the precedent set in other places. What we're not, or maybe didn't anticipate early on, there's the density. Meaning how many additional buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
One, and
Yeah,
what is the overall feeling that's changing into the opposed to.
yeah.
what was the first property with a single building, a single thing. So it's becoming a bit more suburban. But at this point, we're almost too far along the road to come back because we've got one neighbor to say, well, my neighbor, he didn't approve that. So this is an evolution of the neighborhood.
Right now, this is rural residential. A bit more than it's 18.
It's Chelsea.
This is Chelsea, yeah.
That's what I thought. I mean, it was the original track, right? It was broken up.
Well, that was one of the things that when we first started going down the road and trimming some of the districts, it's because it felt like we were getting into situations like this where it was important. And then in certain areas, it really was a wild boundary. Like it covered over land, it didn't make any sense. And it was because the original parcels, none of us had anything to do with choosing the original boundary. None of them perfectly matched the National Register nomination acreage. So in this case, you know, my guess is in a few years, it may prove more useful for us to take account of the area. But for now, we're essentially assuming that there's going to be a consistent character to the additional structures, and we're bending without breaking.
Yes, I remember that district, the district Chelsea was here. The river ran like this. This development was here. And then there was a whole bunch of other property on the other side of Chelsea that was in the district, right? You know. And this is getting pretty well close to being filled up, I would imagine. There's probably only a lot or so left.
A couple of slides.
Yeah, yeah.
Showing us, building. We've essentially had a hand in doing all of it.
Yeah, yeah,
I think Mr. Marquez may have been the one.
yeah.
We may have that.
So what is your pleasure?
That sounds like a motion.
That's a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
So,
Further discussion? All in favor of approving, say aye. Opposed? Okay, it is approved. David, do you know anything about the fire tower in the absence of Bob Hubbard? I know you talked at our other meeting just the other day that the guy was coming to look at it. Is that?
that's what we were told, but I don't know the result of that.
We got an update from Mr. Hubbard this morning. I had met them over there as he started going up. There's the tower's not in bad shape. There's the diagonal struts on it need some work. He's gonna give us a full breakdown. We don't have that yet. The tower, the shelter up at the top was in actually pretty good shape. The glass was not broken. Roof was in good repair. So he's gonna come back with some prices on what it takes to repair this, or if you want this level of this, or if you just want to secure it. That's
It's better news than we could have expected, to be honest.
If somebody could safely walk up to the top.
not
It's a
with,
broad statement.
yeah,
It depends on who the somebody is.
No, but I
And with
mean,
the right
it is not gonna collapse on the road.
There is no imminent danger of collapse.
structure. And in fact, he said that as is, if we didn't touch it, it would probably be good for at least another 20 years.
Another 20 years.
That's without maintenance.
With no maintenance. There is no paint on it.
It's
Just
just
all-
rusted,
it's just-
rusted.
It's just
itself.
galvanized. You go
It's
over there and
galvanized.
see it's-
Okay.
most of the silvery color is still there. There's a little bit of rust. The struts, the diagonals, the only problem that they had was because the way it had to be tempered to connect. They had to heat something as a secondary thing, and that, the galvanized action stopped.
Because I remember it was,
That weekend, that.
And it's weakened the metal right in that one place.
I think it was built the same year as I was born too, in 1939 or something like that.
It's old.
Huh?
33.
It's older than,
38,
it's 33, 34, 35. There's at least.
33, 35, so it was getting close to 90 years old, still standing, yeah.
Yeah. That it might have been The way that the concrete footers are poured, it could have been worked by the CCC.
Well, good.
The footers are good, concrete looks good.
The old days, they built them well.
Yeah.
He was walking up the steps. They were bouncing like this, and we were like, "Why is that safe?" And I was like, no, this is the way they were designed. They were designed for one person to walk up. And anytime that they turn them into some force type attraction, then they reinforce it, put some more steel in there.
I saw several other of these around and other, they all look about the same, don't they?
Made by the same company.
Okay,
Line
same, they all were the same.
And it was a component, but we have the draft of a sign that could be put out in front of it. There's a variety of things that the historical society is working on to augment the firepower. So research for display. Then there's also going to be potentially some kind of engaging interactive thing. So we flew our drone up to the top of it. And then we went ahead and did a transit safety preview looking out from the tower. So we looked at the tower and then we looked out from the tower. Because we thought, there's people will go ahead and watch a webcam of an evil and watching the bird hatch, that kind of thing. It might be fun if we decide to invest in it to go ahead and have a camera that shows the view from the fire tower, because it's not really that safe to go up there. And you could have folks who are in the county decide that they wanted to go see it. As long as it doesn't infringe on someone's private property or the privacy. It could be kind of a fun thing, especially if you want to see what it looks like when the storm rolls in, or when it starts to snow or something along those lines. It's whimsical, but a lot of what we do is to make people smile.
There's no parking around it.
There's parts of the health department. The health department is right next to it, so there's no parking for that.
For that, that's what I meant.
But you could put a sign there that people who park at the health department could easily just, reading from their parking space, or potentially just get out, walk up close to. And the structural integrity issue was one in the county because other towers have barbed wire fences around. The one at Park in Gloucester on the way back, that one has one, but it's kind of a little bit overgrown. It has a secondary building. It has a few other things. So it's ours is strong enough that you don't have to worry about the piece of it falling down on you. And in that regard, if you drew a bit of attention to it by having a sign that people would read, you'd still want to place it next to the location. And that's one of the considerations the county would have to make, because you have something that already gets a ton of attention because if you want to have people up close to it, you can make it clear that it's not allowed to go into client and put other things in specific wording, as opposed to just kind of crossing your fingers that nobody ever goes up to it and prays that nobody decides.
Is it readily accessible to clients?
No.
If you brought a step ladder, yes.
Okay. That's what I was getting at.
Readily accessible to people, yes. The answer is no.
Not without a tool.
Do we have it insured?
I talked to finance about that. I'm not sure it is right now. But I asked, I don't think I've ever seen it on an insurance book. We had not been able to clarify that it was out.
Insured for visitation, but if somebody
Exactly.
illegally climbs it and falls off, I think we need
They've
to
had
look at
some-
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked them to get in touch with them.
So as the committee for the Historical Society, we're going to do our best to help the county pursue as much information as possible so they can make an informed decision about the future of the town. And generally, the sentiment so far at every meeting has been positive and saving and preserving, but everyone's very much clear as to understanding the challenges.
I'll be honest, should have known, but I was shocked when I was young.
We all were.
Didn't,
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No,
it was settled back in the 90s.
No.
But it wasn't settled in a way that persisted in knowledge. And you've seen how many folks have changed. We've had 4 of you. He's seen 6 of you.
They did some work at the clerk's office and nothing is in the land records of being recorded that says that it's now our property. It's all this permanent easement until the state forest department gives us a written letter that says they don't want it anymore.
So we don't want.
We do, because they did their research with the state forestry and found that they did send us a letter in
It's a
2010.
complicated. Those guys at the state forestry department were very much on the ball about having clearly given this to account. Oh, yeah, they were just like, oh, you're not paying us with this.
Shouldn't have been a deed with you.
Oh, everything is listed on the form, including an opinion report of the Office of the Attorney General of the state of Virginia. So they're more than happy that they don't own it.
The purpose
sure.
was to get internet to the school. Was to use it as a satellite dish that the state forestry that said could be able to say, we don't use it for our purposes anymore. You can have it to get internet to your school.
And they never went that way either.
I don't know what the satellite dish is up there where you bounce it
Well,
to, but I
we
mean, it
didn't-
wasn't that long until we went.
Yeah, I was gonna say that we didn't have it at here at that point,
Yeah,
not in the 90s.
Okay, let's move on. Everybody pick up a copy. Everybody have a copy. Everybody have a copy of this.
we're three.
John, you have one?
He's got one.
There's not one? Okay.
And my apologies, I am going to have to leave promptly at 5 in order to pick up my voice, so. This was nice.
I'm still working on it.
I think they're not anymore.
You don't need to go through the changes, I can go through the changes, so. Under the benefits of registering property. I just made all the changes under 1, 2, 3, and 4. So under number 2, you'll see where it says officially recognizes the historic significance of a place, building, site, or area. That's straight off of BHR's website. Number 3, again, straight off. Their website identifies the historic value and characteristics of the property. Number 4, this is the verbiage, may qualify owners for voluntary state and federal rehabilitation tax credit programs and BHR's easement program. And then there's the link they can go to for information about the easements. Listing in the register does not. Again, most of that's their verbiage. I did not change the information of process of registration for their preliminary evaluation and nomination piece, because that kind of gives them information on what they have to do. I did take out the contact individual's name and just left the regional office's address and the phone number so they can contact them directly.
You took the name out, you said.
Yes, I did take the name out.
Okay. The only thing that confused me is that just look at the preliminary step. It says the regional office to King William is. Okay. Now, if I was addressing a letter or something, who would I address it to? I wouldn't address it to the regional office. Don't we need to put the DHR or something in there and also on the other one, rather than just regional preservation office? Because it doesn't carry.
We're stuck because the regional director changes over time, so we can't put a person's name in.
No, but shouldn't we have something that says this is DHR?
And yes, if that's a minor improvement, it should be. The Director of the Regional Office, Virginia Department of Historic
Historic resources, yeah, that, and then that also has to go in on the step. Also on, the nomination, step two, the next step, the next step, it needs to go on there too. Um. Do we technically need any permission from anybody to show these pictures that are on here?
No, those are publicly accessible through the National Register.
They are.
Yeah, they're fine.
And then, and I guess we need. Okay. Okay, any other corrections to that?
My only question is under the information for the Historic Preservation and Architectural Review Board, you wanted your information removed, so I just said current board information, please contact the planning and zoning office, and I have my phone number on there, and I can put the main planning and zoning office phone number on there, if that's what you want me to do, but right now I have my main phone number on there. I don't know what you think, Steve.
Yours gives voicemail, right? Yours gives voicemail, right?
Either I answer it or it's a voicemail. What do you think, Steve? The main number or?
I'd be your, why would
I would leave yours out.
Yeah. it'd be your-
Planning, but I would also add, or see website, blah, 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 and do the actual web page that has the historic board.
Yeah, in the end, it's likely that this is going to be existing more in a digital form than a paper form. So while it's cumbersome to have the web links, having them written out is an advantage for people who have them in paper, but it's not as awkward as they look. It's still just going to be somebody with a mouse. So it's all good. It's just this is our future here. Yeah. Difficult to format stuff like this. Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, no.
Yeah, that's fair. I know. Good night.
So we happy with those changes? Okay. So we probably should reflect something, but make a motion or something.
I will make a motion to accept the brochure with changes as suggested.
Okay. All, any further comments? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay. Who wrote this letter? That's Bob that wrote this letter. David wrote the letter.
I know one question to the nomination for the board. The last time.
So, firstly.
William has a historic preservation act that would be boards on the town, the city and towns, conservative, third time will be covered. And then reaching out to property owners across the county to learn about their new stewards of historic. We believe our commission has a CMD will benefit not only property owners, but our community, your property to help people after. The characterization aspect would be board to want to assist you if you are so inclined. In preserving and protecting your property. How can the board help? Question. Property could potentially be eligible for nominations for Virginia and national registers. Through the Virginia Department of Historic Resources, one of our missions as a board is to review properties in the local historic districts and aid owners in potentially nominating properties for the Virginia and national registers. In an attempt to fulfill our mission, the board is reaching out to gauge your interest in nominating your property. Is that the right thing? Or is it GAU?
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. Included in this letter is a brochure explaining the benefits, process, and evaluation of registering a property. We would love to talk more with you about your property if you're interested in pursuing nomination. Or, yeah, something wrong. If the board can help answer questions, please reach out to us.
Says, we had that big stack of stuff that we downloaded. There was like 27 properties in there or something like that.
Yes.
This letter is only going to those of that 27 properties that either said that were identified as being potentially eligible. So it's like 6 or 8 of those 27, something like that, as I remember.
I can't remember.
But it's
Yes.
something like that.
We had a
It's
subdivision.
a fraction of that.
It's our test case. We're gonna dip our toes in the water.
Okay, so we're sending it, these either said were eligible or potentially eligible. There's only 1 or 2, as I remember, said potentially eligible. That means were eligible, the rest of them said, okay. The question I have, why are we saying anything about that? Why are we saying anything about receiving certified local government status?
Why aren't we? Or why?
Why are we saying anything in this letter about that? Why are we mentioning that at all?
Because it is the impetus for why the letter is going out in the first place.
What do you mean?
Okay, so we are getting the certified local government status. And if we are now that we have that status, reaching out to them to see if we can help.
But you don't have that status.
Yeah, we're about to. If you want to wait until we get official recognition from the Park Service before we actually send the letters, then we would change the first paragraph and say, we have recently been acknowledged.
I mean, why do we have to say anything about that at all?
Gives
Can't we just say
context
we're
for the letter.
the Preservation Architectural Review Board and we're reaching out to property owners? Why do we have to say anything about certified local government?
Okay, so. Yeah, I got it. You're right, we don't have to, we could make this shorter. Is it length the problem?
No,
Or do you
no,
think
no,
that it
no.
Uses people that we include something that you find potentially irrelevant.
I don't think anybody knows what certified local government is. I mean, I take it out. I take those words out. What's the value of putting that in there?
It explains part of the story. Because one of your questions might be, why are you asking me now? Why are we doing this now?
Is because we're trying to get certified local government status. That's why we're reaching out. We'd reach out.
You are the chair. They're one of the reasons we're doing that. I'm trying to figure out why we're doing this now, and you're telling me we're doing it now because we're certified local government. And so now I'm saying, then you're saying, but we can remove that from the text.
Would we do this if we hadn't applied to certified local government
I
status?
mean, I could turn it around and say, we've never done this. Why didn't we do this years ago?
Irrespective of whether we're applied or had certified local government, could have done this, right?
Yeah, it could have.
So why are we putting in certified local government?
It's telling a story. If you don't think it's relevant to the story, you can pass it.
Yeah, I don't think it's relevant to the story and it adds to the fact that people don't know what it means to begin with.
Is there insufficient explanation for what the certified local government program is? So you could add a sentence explaining what it is, or you could remove it entirely. And that's really just whatever the board feels is most important. And whatever you recommend. I'm kind of proud that we're certified local government. You spent a ton of time getting us to this point.
I don't understand
It's a
that.
shocking thing to me is that you want to take it out after spending a decade of your life trying to get.
I know you're getting ready to leave. You might want to look at this before you go. I just got this within the hour.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's great.
The cherry grove.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's the nomination for Cherry Grove.
Oh, okay.
So in theory, if we were
Or
a certified
we would
local
have gotten, we
government,
would have gotten.
this would have to be turned in even earlier. And then we would all get. a
We
chance to
get a
comment.
chance to review it.
But this is sneaking in right before.
But look at
Oh, man.
where the clip comes in, there's a signature required on there. I don't know who that's for.
It's for the state historic preservation.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything,
Well, let me read it.
but you want to keep that,
Let's see if it's completed. Do I?
or no, then
She's running.
we've got, you've got,
Oh, well, no. Because the state has approved us, even though the feds have not, they're asking for us to review and comment.
Oh, the state is asking.
This is our first one, folks. We have homework. Congratulations.
and there's the envelope that came in, going,
Okay,
That is homework. If you wouldn't mind, Christina,
okay.
assuming they haven't sent you a digital version.
Haven't gotten it from Aubrey yet. She's thinking about keeping it updated.
If you wouldn't mind going ahead and scanning that and sending it.
Are they asking us or the board of supervisors?
They're asking us. They would not be asking the board. Well. Okay.
I think they're asking the board of supervisors if they want to comment.
Dear chair Hodges. Yes, to the board. For your review and comment. Well, okay, so it's not technically to us yet. Sorry, I got excited. I got excited.
I was gonna say Aubrey. like,
Howard
Aubrey, say
forcing
something.
learning. Yeah, no, like, this is the future.
does any of the questions on the review need comments from y'all?
Any other questions? Yeah, because you as a board of supervisors member can say, you people go comment on this. Which
Is there a
will be
time,
our job.
is there a time frame associated?
June 15th,
What?
It's
June 15th.
that's when it's gonna be submitted, right, to the federal, national?
No, that'll be when, so for your review and comment, enclosed with a copy of the draft nomination as it is to be presented to the boards on Thursday, June 15th. Your comments will be forwarded to the SHPO director of the board as well as nomination and for consideration. So it's the deadline for comments as if it was a public comment in a public meeting. Because it's not fitting into a formal process like it will be with a certified local government, where we get to express our concerns beforehand.
Yeah.
This one's deadline is at the same time as you can go to the state review board meeting, which will be at the Meredith Museum, I believe. And you would then have the opportunity to stand up and say, this is what I believe. You know, I like it, I don't like it, these are my reasons why, these are my concerns, these are my questions. You can also do it by certified letter if you don't want to go there. Some folks say, hey, I don't want this at all, take it down. And you know, sometimes it works. Other folks are just like, this is amazing. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for all of your hard work. In most of the cases, it doesn't matter.
So what is your pleasure? What do you want to do with that?
Well, I don't think there's time to take it to the board and review. I'm not saying it's necessary.
This is your least controversial thing to do today.
Uh,
We're gonna tell you that right now.
oh, believe me, we know. Even though we got a quiet night last night.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Good.
There's a local slang stuff that they want.
It would be delightful for the rest of us to start to get used to this. If you could scan and send it to the rest of them. All of
I
that
mean,
is
we
available on
potentially,
March
we have a
2nd.
meeting scheduled, don't we?
We have one in
For
June.
the eighth of June or something like that?
Oh,
I think we do have a meeting
Six, two.
scheduled for the eighth of June.
We
When we
put
set up,
together our
when we
calendar,
set them up,
you're right, we are.
but that was only as a placeholder.
Yes.
yeah, that was one of our
We feel
4
like we
meetings
took
a
care of
year,
business today.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Okay, so, do we want to have the meeting on the eighth or not?
Do we have anything to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, if we're waiting to do anything definitive until after the Park Service approves, it seems like skipping the meeting on the eighth would be fine. And assuming we have this letter, we can approve the wording. And I'm okay with whatever's decided. Then, you could ask Christina to go ahead and mail it out. And then we'll give the property owners plenty of time to respond between now and our next meeting.
Okay, and, all right. So I guess we're saying we don't see the need to meet on the eighth. So
As much as I like it,
why don't we still though send this out to all of us just for our own review? Okay. And,
I'm happy with whatever you guys do on the letter.
what if we waited, since we've been working on this for, I don't know how long, until we got certified? And then send this out and say that we've recently received certification as local government and we're,
We know if it's gonna be months, weeks, years.
oh, it might be a month or two, it might be a month or two.
something.
It might be a month or
Wait a
two.
month or two and then.
I mean, my preference would be either wait until then or take the word certified local government out of it.
You know,
I got no problem waiting on one.
You have no problem
waiting,
Waiting a month,
Yeah.
so.
I'm good.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that'll give us the ability to get this done and so forth, and, okay, now, the other thing I had put on the agenda was this thing on the eighth. Has anybody signed up for it? I signed up for it, okay?
And then, somebody else signed up for it too. I
Did
can't remember.
David or,
I think Mr. Hubbard, I think Mr. Hubbard was the
Okay.
one.
I've been to them before, okay? And if I had mentioned before that when we get certified, I was gonna step down and become a member of the committee rather than the chair. And he's the vice president, okay? Now, is he, can't remember whether he's willing to serve as the chair. I think he said he was, did he?
I don't-
We don't know, okay?
We could vote him in tonight. Don't pay the message me.
I mean, I think somebody should go. So why don't we do this? I'll make sure, I'll check with him to make sure he's going.
I'm pretty confident it was
He
him.
is? Okay.
It was
Because
another
then
member.
I will go. I mean, I've been to these before. The only reason I signed up at that point in time, because I wanted us represented at that, and, wouldn't be anything new to me, but it would be for him. So I will not go and we'll let him go. Okay. Anything else that we want to bring up? So we had discussed if we do get certified local government, that we want to celebrate that in some way. So why don't we wait until we find out where that is? And I would assume that if we don't have our June 9th meeting, we wouldn't be meeting again until like something September or something like that. Something would be our normal next scheduled meeting, wasn't it? Something like that.
We have the date.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be somewhere in that time, be a couple months later, because we're trying to do them every 3 months to go out of 4 months, okay.
We get an application, then of course I'll send out
Yeah,
the
okay.
possible date.
So we're not gonna have the June 9th meeting, and, we'll wait and see what happens in terms of, circle of government status. If I decide to all you invite to me in a house to have a drink or do something, we get that, we could do it, we could do that. If not, we won't meet until September, okay? That sounds good.
And
Motion to adjourn,
so moved.
second, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
If y'all want me to send them back in comments,